Hey stitchy friends, welcome back to Cross by Floss. And if you are new here, I am so glad that you chose today to come and hang with me. Today is a really special video because we are officially kicking off Mirabilia May. If you have ever seen or stitched one of Nora Corbett's gorgeous designs and you love the bling and the sparkles and the beautiful ladies, then this video is so for you. Today's video, I will share what Mirabilia May means to me, my interpretation of it, how I will be celebrating it this year, and there may be some projects that I will share what I might be working on, just kind of what the plans are. So if you like blingy beads, sparkly stitches, and over the top gorgeousness, then you're in the right place. So let's get into it. All right, so Mirabilia May. I think that, is this my 4th or 5th year doing it? I think it might be my 5th year doing this way of Mirabilia May. So what I, kind of how I got into Mirabilia May was, back in the day, there was a group that used to have, it was called May Mania? Stitch Mania? I don't remember. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Anyways, they used to have a group, a Facebook group. And then over the years, it's kind of like gone defunct kind of. And people had like their own interpretation of what mania meant. And I thought, I have all of these beautiful Mirabilias, and Mira and May went together. It just sounded great. So I was like, ooh, that sounds, I'm gonna just adjust, sorry. That sounds like a lot of fun. I have all of these Mirabilias and I continue to collect them. So why not do a month of Mirabilias? Sounded good. And then I was like, how about, because I like to see what my progress is. And I don't know about you, but when I stitch, sometimes I don't see how much progress I've gotten because you see it, on a daily basis. And it's like when you see your kids, right? Like you see them every day and you might notice a growth spurt, but when the grandparents come, they're like, holy goodness, you've grown so much, right? Well, that's kind of how I feel about my stitching sometimes too. I don't realize how much progress I've gotten done on it because sometimes it feels like I'm slogging through, right? And so I thought, well, how about I do like a vlog style for 5 days? And in previous years, what I had done was I had started a new Mirabilia every Monday, and then I worked on it for the 5 days, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday I would upload the progress of what was done. And it was kind of cool because vlog style, I was able to see like how many stitches I did from day to day and the progress of that pattern. And so that was really fun. This Mirabilia May, however, is going to be a little different because Mr. G is having surgery during Mirabilia May, and will be recovering and doing a lot of PT and all of the things that he needs to after surgery. And so I think that what I'm going to do this year is actually work on several of the Miras that I had actually started in years past. So that's kind of how Mirabilia May started for me and what I had done and where I might be going. Yeah, and what are Mirabilias? What are they? Oh my goodness, they are gorgeous patterns. I have a true love for Mirabilias. I stitch a lot of different things, but Mirabilias was actually the very first pattern I ever purchased. So short story long, we had had a house fire, and a very generous neighbor. I had lost all of the cross stitch that I had had, you know, from the 80s, you know, and early 90s. And it was all smoke damaged, and or either was in a room that, you know, they put the fire retardant on, and so all the stuff was completely ruined. And a very generous neighbor gave me a little stitchy care package, and like true stitchy kindness back in the day, right? And in it were some Mirabilias, and I didn't even know what those were, had no clue what they were, but I was like, wow, this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, she had also included linen in there, and I had never stitched on linen, and I was super intimidated. Some of the She'd also included like some beads and the fancy floss for one of the patterns, and I was by far intimidated because what had I stitched before? You know, kits and Ada kits, and so, you know, and things that you could buy at Michael's or Joann's, or, you know, back in the day, Ben Franklin, you know, like just really easy, you know, I made bibs for my kids, or, you know, yeah, really very small little things. And so seeing this gorgeous, she had included two, they were beautiful. And I was just super intimidated. I was like, there's no way. Well, then she also told me about an LNS, which I had never actually heard of. Did not know that there was a store dedicated to actual cross stitch. You know, where I grew up, we had, you know, either the big box stores, or there was a small store that carried like some leisure arts pamphlets or the booklets, and maybe had the whole, you know, DMC colors, but that was it. You know, you might be able to get some Charles Craft folded in a package, Ada, but you know, there was no real store dedicated to cross stitch when I was growing up. So blew my mind. Well, I walked into this store, and when you walk into Threadneedle Street, and you meet the owner, Denise. She loves lavender and lace and Mirabilias. And they are, when you walk in, you see that display. Oh my goodness. I was in heaven. And so I flipped through all the charts, and the very first one that I thought sounded like a great idea was Shakespeare's Fairies, because it had the three girls, the three fairies, and I thought, how cute would that be to do my mom, me, and my daughter? And I don't think to this day I've even started Shakespeare's Fairies. But every time, you know, and they were, I wouldn't say that the patterns themselves were expensive, but kitting it up was cost prohibitive with 4 children, one income, and it was just not a hobby that, you know, I really, really had time for either. But I just love these patterns. And so every once in a while, when I could get into Threadneedle Street in Issaquah, I would go in and I would buy a pattern. And Denise would always ask me if I've ever, you know, if I ever have stitched the last one that I bought. And I looked at her and said, "Oh no, I'm just collecting them." We became fast friends, and she's a lovely, lovely lady. And so over the years, I purchased many of my Mirabilias from Denise. Every time a new one would come in, I would grab that. But when I started Mirabilia May, my version of Mirabilia May, the very first pattern I started was Archangel. And Archangel is special because that was the first male pattern that I saw of hers, other than like a Santa, right? And I was just enamored by him. So he was the very first one I started. So whether that was 4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember how long I've been doing Mira Me. Isn't that awful? But yes, and so it's just so fun to work on the patterns and see what they look like. And in yesterday's video, I showed a finish that I had. Now, this is not a Mirabilia. This is a Nora Corbett, but this is the type of fancy, you know, that you get. The Mirabilias, they show their faces. So for the most part, they are either side or front views, and you do see their faces. And some will have wings, some are fairies, some are mermaids, some are just fancy ladies, but they're just absolutely gorgeous, and they have some bling on them, and they're just beautiful. And this is a Nora Corbett. This is Snapdragon. But this is, you know, the quality. Of course, I don't have one to show you of my own that I have finished yet. I have a lot on the go, but I have not actually finished any yet. I'm close. I'm close to a few. I am absolutely close to a few. Let me just check my notes and make sure that I'm not missing anything. I was actually I will tell you my journey. I was very intimidated to stitch Nora Corbett Mirabilia. And the reason is because they're large. They're very large. They do have bling on them, whether it is by beads or by Kreinik, which I despise, and so I use Petite Treasure braid. They are a good size chart, and I just didn't think that I could do it. And I was watching Stitchy Mommy one day, Stitchy Mommy, and she just said, you know, they're just X's. They're just, if you can stitch, you know, a small pattern or a medium pattern, you can stitch anything, because they're just crosses. It's just a stitch. And I was like, and somehow a light bulb went on, and I was like, you're right. I can do this. And so then seeing she back, you know, when she first started her Flosstube, she had a lot of Miras and Noras that she was working on, mainly Miras, I think. And seeing her finishes was inspiring. And then seeing other people in the community who had finishes was just absolutely, I was like, I can do that then. Yes, I can. And I want these ladies up on my wall. So why do I keep stitching them? Why do I keep stitching Mirabilias when there are so many things to stitch in the community, right? Like, there are fun designs, there are cute designs, there are Quakers, there are samplers, there are, like, there's just so many things. And the way that you can finish them into pillows or stand-ups, or, you know, framing them, or, you know, however you choose, using them as pin cushion. There's biscorn use, you know, like, there's just so many things to be able to stitch in the community. And I do stitch those, but I come back to Mirabilias time and time again. I absolutely love them. There's just something about them that speaks to me. And some of them, it's because it's a memory of like a childhood thing, or like in the case of one that I'll show you today, she just reminds me of my grandma, who was extremely elegant. Or you know, it just reminds you of a person or a place or a feeling or just something, right? And that's why I continue to stitch them. And sometimes I get frustrated with them, not gonna lie. I have one that is so close to a finish, but because I can't get past the Kreinik / Petite Treasure braid of it, I haven't been able to finish it. But it is a goal for this year that it is going to get done. And also being part of the community, you know, is also very inspiring and keeps me motivated to stitch the Mirabilias, because seeing somebody's interpretation, or putting it on a different fabric, or changing the floss, or doing a skin conversion, or, you know, just making some small tweaks. And it's just, I mean, what isn't there to love about it? Right? Okay, so enough about that. How about having a look at some of my potentials that I might work on? So I do throughout the year, I am doing 25 in 2025 stitching, and in there I have 3 Mirabilias, I think. I have Archangel, April's Diamonds, and Fairy Flora. I don't think I have any others. So I have 3 Mirabilias that are already in my 25 for 2025 stitching. And when I went looking for some Mirabilias the other day, I discovered I actually have quite a few Mirabilias started. And that must be because I've worked on them for 4. This has got to be my 5th year. So 4 years of 4 to 5 patterns each time. That's a lot of whips started, right? So, someone's not feeling good and he needs his mommy. So, so I kind of narrowed it down to 6. Not that I'm going to stitch all 6, but I've narrowed it down to, I might do a eeny meeny kind of thing, to see which one, you know, that I might start for the first week of May. So May 5th is a Monday, and that's actually the a full week of May. And so for 4 weeks in May, I will do 4 Miras. And whether that means I will do all 4 that are whips, maybe 3 whips and a new start, we'll see. I don't know. But these are a few that I pulled out that I have started already. This one is Shimmering Mermaid. She is an absolute beautiful girl. She's so beautiful. And I love the mermaids. And I always think to put, you know, mermaids maybe in a powder room would be a lot of fun. So that's the first one. This one, oh, Enchanted Mermaid. Oh, she's a beauty. Love her. This one, Nora Corbett actually signed for me when I met her, and this is Lady Mirabilia. This reminds me a little bit of my grandma. She was a very elegant. She, as we like to say, cleans up well. And but my grandma was elegant all the time, whether she was in her gardening clothes or if she was getting all dressed up and dolled up to go shopping or to a party. She was a very elegant lady. So when I see Lady Mirabilia, this very much reminds me of some things about my grandma. This one, the Snow Maiden. Oh, this one's so pretty. Love this one. And this one uses some of the new colors, which is pretty cool. Sorry, buddy. Oh, this one, Starlet. Oh, I absolutely love her. She is like the whole Gone with the Wind, you know. I love her. Very much love her. Maybe not just Gone with the Wind, but also like not quite Breakfast at Tiffany's. What's that other movie? Oh my goodness. You know, all the very old, I love them, you know, where they wore big poofy dresses and just absolute gorgeousness. So she's also a contender. And then this one, Stone Roses. Now, Stone Roses I'm not doing on a neutral fabric, and oh, it's pretty. It's so pretty. So these are just a few that are in my whips already. Now I do have quite a few of the new releases, like as in the last year and a half. I have some of those. I have some old ones that I have a basket full of Mirabilias that are ready to go. Most of them are even kitted up. And so I might have a new start too, because it's always fun to have a new start, right? Let's see. So just as also I do Mirabilia May and a Nora November. And so I kind of do I capture both, because Mirabilias, Nora Corbett, the artist, she does two different lines. One is the Mirabilias. They are larger. They are blingier, they are just a bigger pattern, and they're just much more fancy. Whereas the Nora Corbett designs are smaller. They're probably easier to, you probably could get those done a lot quicker. And they may be a little less blingy. They may not use as much specialty flosses, stuff like that. And so those are kind of the differences. And because I have a lot of patterns of both different, oh my gosh, now I lost the word, but both Mira's and Nora's, I have quite a bit of both. It just made sense to do two separate things throughout the year to celebrate Nora Corbett designs. So, and also the community itself is just so much fun to be a part of. It's like a club, a little Mira club, right? A little Mirabilia club where you know the Mirabilia stitchers, you see their designs, and then we bring some new people into the community, into the club, who get so excited when they see these, changes or new designs. They also speak to them. So that's kind of what it is. And also seeing everybody's pieces is just, like I said before, very inspiring. Seeing the changes that they make, the floss or the fabric that they choose to use. And so it's just a really fun stitchy community to be a part of. And I am so thrilled to do Mirabilia May every year. The other thing that I do is Mira Mondays, and that's an Instagram thing. And while I have not been great at it this year, and I kind of slacked off a little last year about it too, I do, life gets in the way sometimes, and plans don't always go the way that you would like, or that you intend. And so we pivot and we do what we can, which is what I'm doing this year. I may not be able to do a whole bunch of new starts this year, but getting some whips, down, things that are already established and easy, that it all adds up to getting things done, right? So anyways, I hope that you will join Mirabilia May. I would love to know in the comments what you might be either starting or working on, how you are going to celebrate Mirabilia May. I would love to hear your plans for Mirabilia May, and see your progress as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing so that you can be also a part of the Mirabilia Club community. It's not exclusive. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then.